I thought building a refinery like this is, supposed to be a pride for everybody, because we're not the only country. Angola, they've been trying for 20 years. They are still trying. Uganda, they've been trying for the last 15 years. None of them. There is no production capacity in Africa. Only two countries are not importing, which is Algeria and Libya. Apart from this, everybody is an importer. We cannot continue to be slaves while we export, raw material, then we import products. But you can see a regulator is giving an excuse to continue to issue license for bad products just because he said that no, they don't want to create a monopoly. So how can we create a monopoly?
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel, Nigeria and Germany, for your trending news and celebrity gist. If this is your first time on this channel, please kindly like and subscribe, share this video, and click the subscribe button for more updates. Yes, guys, today let's talk about the drama going on between Aliko Dangote and the federal government of Nigeria. As you all know, Dangote has completed its refinery, and that refinery is supposed to help Nigeria and Nigerians to get over the exportation of our raw crude oil for less value cost and later import refined fuel back to the country for extravagant sum of billions. So this refinery is supposed to be a game changer and a way out for the unnecessary export and import cost of crude oil into the country, not to talk about the cost of refining the crude. The federal government has been looking for every avenue to discredit Aliko Dangote's refinery after he has invested and built the world's biggest and complete all-in-one refinery in the country.
Another complaint that I had, which I think the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker also raised with me, said, okay, why did we drop the price of diesel when we started? We drop it from, is it the bad quality we are producing or what? I said that no. Even at the 650 ppm and 700 ppm that we are producing was a better quality than what was, imported. And I'm sure, Your Excellency, sir, most of you have problems with their vehicles. Either you have had or you are still having problems with their vehicles. It's because of the bad fuel that we're importing into the country. I still stand by what I said. Go to filling stations, you can pick up and you can check the quality. That's the only way. But all this one, somebody will bring in a ship and say that yes, this is the quality. Bring in fake certificate. This one, when we go ahead, we will say more. We will say more in the sense that, we know where they blend this in. Some of the terminals, some of the NNPC people, and some, traders have opened a blending plant somewhere off Malta. We all know these areas. We know what they are doing. It's not that we don't know. And really, like what I said, I've been fighting all my life. Somebody now said, okay, Mr. Dangote, I heard that, some people came to your hotel to ask of your name and you don't know who they are. I say, yes, they did. But look, I am a very, very fearless person. I believe so much in God and I don't fear anybody. They can do whatever that they want, and I am not scared. I will fight head on.
Why is it that the federal government of Nigeria are so bent on seeing Nigerians pass it through hardship? From Aliko Dangote's speech, you can understand that there are forces behind the scene that are fighting to block this refinery to work. So they first labeled Dangote as trying to monopolize the sales of fuel in the country. Secondly, they said his products are not up to standard, that they are not good enough to be sold. Now, so who are these oil mafias behind the scene trying to sabotage Dangote's refinery? Is it the Nigerian big men that are into the importation of the refined fuel from Europe and United States for ludicrous amounts of money? Or are they in collaboration with these Europeans and the United States to block Dangote from operation? Because they knew if this refinery starts working, the pains of Nigerians going through to afford fuel in the country will reduce, and probably prices of other commodities would reduce as well. But the Nigerian government don't think or care about its citizens. They only care about their pockets.
The mafia in oil, they are stronger than mafia in drugs.
Just to repeat that, mafia and oil are stronger than the mafia and drugs.
I can tell you.
Is that a fact?
Yes, it's a fact.
Did you know the mafia and oil existed before you got into this?
I know that, yes, they existed, but not as strong as the way that I've faced them. They're very strong.
Is this a global mafia? Is it
both?
Is it local mafia?
There's a local one, there's a global one, so it's all mixed up. It's all mixed up.
It's a mix, and then did they try and sabotage you? In
they tried all sorts, but like what I told you in our interview, I told you that I'm a person that I've been fighting all my life. So I think it's part of my life to fight.
And you've won this fight, clearly. Have you won this fight? Is it over?
I think eventually we won. We'll end up winning. You know why? Because the population and the government will be on our side. Because what we are doing is right.
There's one thing that I get concerned about when I hear things like the oil mafia or the international traders or whatever may be trying to interfere with Africa industrializing. It's not just with your oil refinery. It's a lot of other industries that get pushback there. And I ask this question, I think you're the best person to ask. Does the world that is benefiting from quality raw commodities want the continent to truly industrialize, where you move industrialization into Africa? And how much pushback have you really seen on this path and journey?
Well, there's quite a pushback. First of all, you have heard what Jeffrey Sachs said. What he said, is that I don't believe if the West want us to progress in terms of industrialization. Industrialization is something that is the basic that we need. We need to produce what we consume.
Yeah.
But I don't think if there's any support coming from the West. As a matter of fact, during the COVID period, some of the international banks really were looking forward to making sure that they push us into default of our loans so that the project will just be dead. And that didn't happen with the help of banks like Afrexim Bank.
The problem in Nigeria government and the association with the Western world might be way bigger than what we think. Because we as Nigerians always think that Nigeria is free to use. We are free to use our resources the way we like and how we want. And it's only the government that is bad, that does not want to develop the people and the country. But that might not be the only problem. The governments are acting as puppets too to these Western world countries. These Western world countries, they dictate what kind of industry should be allowed to flourish in the country. And if this industry is going to tarnish or to block their interest in the country, they won't allow it. They will make sure they sabotage it. And now let's come to think about it. That is exactly what happened to the Nigeria indigenous refineries. They were all shut down just to promote this wicked agenda, this wicked business of exporting the raw crude for cheap and importing back refined fuel for high cost.
We are in a mess. The crude oil now that they will control our electricity, they control everything, they control our government. Now, it comes to getting a share of the crude oil so that you can refine it. They say no. If he's buying it in Nigeria, he need to pay $6 more. $6 more than will have been bought. Yes, that is the price they sell it at, even international rate. He should pay $6 more. Why? Because it's going to be sold in Nigeria and they want him to sell the end product in a very expensive amount, because you can't buy the crude at an expensive amount and go and sell it at the going rate. And the killing of Sani Abacha, that they said has stolen money and hidden it in Europe and America. We say, okay, now that Abacha is dead, where is the money? Nobody has seen any money. They only killed that man. They blackmail him, call him a demon, a dictator, to kill him, so that the refinery that is stubbornly not allowing to be shut down be shut down. All the refinery between Abdul Salam Abubakar and Obasanjo were all shut down. Nigerians were importing this petrol. So NNPC that used to get some share of the crude oil to be refined into petrol to be sold to Nigerians within Nigeria, that can be cushioned from the dollar effect so that the currency of Nigeria will be able to stand on her feet. The Naira, they succeeded in closing it down. So Nigeria now export all the crude oil and import petrol. Job lost, revenue lost, everything lost. Powerful national corporations. Destiny standing. The money is sunk there. You can't get it back. Banks have borrowed, lent him the money. Now he's in trouble. Either he import the oil from outside, if he's lucky to be able to go to Russia, and the West are fighting with Russia, so he can't bring crude oil from Russia. They are fighting seriously. Yeah, Europe and Americans are fighting with Russia. We West Africans shouldn't buy anything from Russia. And when you then go to America, why do you have to travel to America to go and buy crude oil when there's crude oil available in the Nigerian soil? So there's a problem. There is a problem. And the problem is Dangote will not be able to pay back his debt if he's not able to get the crude oil to run. And Nigerian government cannot be involved because it's a private sector business. Now we are in trouble. This, we said, is the reason why we talk about ECOWAS Parliament reform. ECOWAS, because we want the laws of ECOWAS Parliament to be like the law of Ghana, to be made like the way Ghanaian laws are made. We want the laws of ECOWAS to be made the way the law of Nigeria is made, the law of Senegal, the law of Mali, so that we can have a working law. And why do we need this law? We need this law because, see, we call them multinational corporations. They work by what they call it international standard. It's just like dollar itself. That's what people think democracy and America and dollar are the same. They are the same. So when we are talking about democracy, you can see as anytime America say do democracy, their version of democracy, the way they want us to do it, then they are telling us to accept and adopt the dollar. That is all they are saying. Their version, their way of doing things that work for them. Some, of course, are good. Some are not going to work for us. We should be able to decide what to do. So the so-called multinational corporations in West Africa are there, stronger than any country, 15, anyone. And we are. So what is colonization? Colonization is a direct rule. That is, in other words, the laws that govern a people is made directly by the colonizer. In other words, the laws are made and possibly the enforcers of the laws are also from the land of the colonizer directly. They give instruction and you obey it. That's colonization. New colonization, in other words, with colonization, the indigenous people or the people who are to obey the law have no say in how the law is made, totally no say. New colonization is a system where the laws are made from outside indirectly. And if those who are to obey the law have anything to do with the law, that also will be indirectly. This is why in ECOWAS Parliament, we are not directly allowed to vote for the members of our ECOWAS Parliament. And we say no to that. If we want all the multinational corporations that will be owned by West Africans, or all industries that will be owned by West Africans, to be able to be competitive with the rest of the world, everyone, and they must be ready to obey the ECOWAS law. And therefore, the people of ECOWAS directly, the electorate directly, as they do in all elections, must vote directly for the members of ECOWAS Parliament. We don't have a choice now. Now we can all see. If Dangote comes down, all of us go down. Dangote is one. We want more of his time.